Вы уже знаете, что университетский лекторий организует Ассоциация Оренбургский университетский учебный округ. Среди организаторов, конечно же, Оренбургский государственный университет, Центр информационных технологий, ОГУ, Дворец творчества детей и молодежи города Оренбург. Координатором проекта является Сафонов Дмитрий Анатольевич. Вот наш организатор, я их, собственно, перечислила. В обычном нашем режиме, не в пандемическом, заседание проходит в здании университета. Александр Юрьевич, включите нашу аудиторию 33-20. Да, вот обычно в этом. Но я думаю, что для наших образовательных организаций, которые удалены и не смогут присутствовать в очном формате, мы будем также вести онлайн-трансляцию электронных заседаний в последующее время. Наверное, есть смысл показать сайт ассоциации. Оренбургский университетский учебный округ, я уже называла организаторов. А вот сейчас на экране сайт. Вы видите ссылку на то, чтобы зайти и посмотреть. И здесь я обращаю ваше внимание, если смотреть на экран, то с правой стороны перечислены проекты. Вы видите баннеры, все они активны. Можно нажать, увидеть, прочитать, что интересного предлагает именно этот проект. И здесь вы видите в том числе университетский лекторий. И обычно на нашем сайте, непосредственно вот в проекте «Университетский лекторий», размещается актуальная информация о деятельности ассоциации, о проектах, конкурсах, мероприятиях. Ну а именно за баннером «Университетский лекторий» размещается информация о тех заседаниях, которые уже прошли, тематика лекций, фото и видеозапись онлайн-лекций. Также размещаются, иногда лекторы оставляют прикрепленные файлы для того, чтобы можно было посмотреть и тексты или презентационный материал. Ну, давайте с вами сейчас перейдем к теме сегодняшней лекции и позвольте вначале представить нашего уважаемого лектора. Это Платова Евгения Дмитриевна, доцент кафедры английской филологии и методики преподавания английского и писем университетского округа. Вы знаете, что тема лекции «Эффективная бизнес-коммуникация в Оренбуржье». Обращаем внимание на то, что лекция будет проходить в том числе и на английском языке. Итак, успешной работы.
Здравствуйте, уважаемые участники. Спасибо большое, Наталья Александровна, за предоставленную возможность сегодня выступать здесь. Я очень впечатлена количеством человек в такой столь обширной аудитории. Я очень надеюсь, что ваших знаний языка будет достаточно, потому что мне бы хотелось представить всю лекцию на английском языке, и поскольку она включает интересные видео, которые в том числе являются материалом англоязычным. Да, поэтому let's wish us good luck and let's go. So you can see the topic of our lecture on the screen: effective business communication in the Orenburg region, as it was told earlier. Business development in the Russian Federation is one of the most important state objectives today. So it is obvious that achieving this task is highly dependent on business interaction, business communication between companies. And business communication development in the region presupposes, of course, no doubts, knowing its geographical, industrial, agricultural, and cultural specifics. So today we are going to remember some basic characteristics of our region. I'll suggest you watching some videos, as I have told already, telling us briefly about the Orenburg region, and we'll look at some cultural specifics of interaction in our region. Does the presentation move? The pages? Yeah. The plan of our conversation today is history and geography of the Orenburg region, industrial development of our region, cultural specifics, and strategies and tactics of effective business attraction in the Orenburg region. So if anything will be not understandable for you, difficult for you, so after it, feel free to ask questions. Yeah, I'll try to clarify it any language you like. So here, the first question of our lecture is history and geography of the Orenburg region. I wouldn't like to stop in details on history of the Orenburg region because it's not the main topic of our discussion today. So just I want you to remember that our region was always situated on the borderline as with the different countries, and so we had to communicate with different nationalities. That's why maybe it's quite important to discuss this topic today. But geographically, we live in the heart. You can see the view of our city, yeah. Geographically, we live in the heart of the Great Steppe and located at the junction point between Europe and Asia. The Orenburg region brings together the eastern and western regions, connecting the Urals with the Volga region and central Russia. So now I suggest you to watch the video. If it doesn't go, tell me, please.
The Great Steppe, where the civilizations of the East, West, and South blend into one. Where Europe looks towards Asia, and Asia melts into Europe. These borderlands are flexible territory for economic opportunities and new projects with neighboring countries. Here, in the southeast of the Russian plain, lies Orenburg region, an industrious, welcoming commercial center where the boldest visions can take root and any project can flourish.
So, the area of the Orenburg region is 124,000 square kilometers. Its population amounts to about 2 million, and 57% of which live in town and cities. The majority of the population is the Russian, but the region also has large Kazakh, Tatar, and Bashkir communities. Geographical position of Orenburg is often compared with the one of St. Petersburg. So the Russian northern capital was once called a window to Europe. You know it, I think. Thus, Orenburg can be called a window to Asia. Let's watch one more video transferring this idea.
We were born in Eurasia, which is the crossroads of the world. The northern capital's windows face towards Europe. The eastern port opens to the Great Steppe and the vastness of Asia. These two cities were founded in strategic locations, St. Petersburg and Orenburg. Today, in the light of past history, it's logical to link these two places together by building an overland transport system between Europe and Asia, from the Baltics to the Pacific Ocean. Our geographical position means that we are a valuable resource in this proposition. Look at the map. Today, the economic center has shifted to Asia, where the volume of international trade is growing rapidly. Currently, these massive markets are separated by a huge area, lacking modern transport infrastructure. Meanwhile, it is to these two centers where the transport route from east and west will be directed, and so traffic between China and Europe will be able to rely on the so-called New Silk Route. Its construction has already started. On the east side, the route connects the Pacific port of Yangongan and the Shanghai Business Center, with the port of Horgos. The constructed highway has already reduced the 15-day route from the east to the west of China by up to 50 hours. In Central Asia, a decision to participate in the project has been announced by Kazakhstan. Let's look back. The future route actually replicates the Silk Route. 1,000 years ago, trade convoys passed through the steppe gate from China to Europe. 1,000 years later, worldwide development again requires secure overland connections between East and West. Today, the goods from Asia to Europe are delivered with a similar speed of a caravan. The sea passage, being the main alternative of the overland route, is long and insecure. It goes through the narrow and overcrowded Suez Canal. The alternative to overseas transport is now the new Silk Route. It is half the time and distance. The exit to Europe through the ports of the Baltic and Barents Seas, through Murmansk, which is also open all year round, illustrates the logistic potential of Russia. Thus, in 2006, Tatarstan started the construction of the Alexeyevsk-Almyteyevsk highway. The route is the foundations of the future highway Kazan-Orenburg to the border of Kazakhstan. The highway will not only become a route of economic growth, but will also bring benefits to the regions it runs through.
So, thus, the region's transit system plays an important role in the international Eurasian transportation system. The Orenburg region is one of the anchor points in the construction project of the Western China to Europe transport corridor, the shortest route from China to Europe. This new route will cross the Orenburg region from north to south and follow the existing motorway that connect Kazan, Orenburg, and Oktober. The Orenburg section of the Western China to Europe road will be around 200 kilometers long. Thus, we can see that our geographical position is quite unique, and specific. But what about industrial development of the Orenburg region? No, not yet. I just wanted to say that the region, it is known as a developed industrial and agricultural area. The share of industrial production in the regional GDP, this is a gross domestic product, let me translate, maybe ВВП, да, это всем больше известно, внутренний валовый продукт, it's over 52%. So, and let's watch a video which presents it.
This land combines beauty with functionality, and a major role is played by the large industries which excavate and process the rich resources of the South Ural mines. We mine and process over 70 types of minerals, produce tens of thousands of end products, and aim to expand our industrial activities with new technology and the creation of new employment opportunities. Because of advances in excavation capabilities in the realm of fossil fuels, along with the production of new products, we anticipate an expansion in the oil and gas sector. Plans are currently underway for the creation of a joint venture for sulfur granulation and the development of a gas chemical cluster. Equally important is the metals sector, which is also the pride of the region. This industry has established itself in the east of the region in the foothills of the southern Urals. The production chain for this sector originates deep underground. Our industrial experts excavate and process the metal ore, transforming it from a raw material into crude stock for the metalworking and mechanical engineering industries. The range of end products is growing, and new investment projects are planned. For example, at one well-known mechanical engineering enterprise, we are putting together a massive industrial cluster targeted at ensuring the multifaceted development of the east of the region by establishing a solid infrastructure and promoting technological cooperation between companies and research centers. We are also developing methods for training highly skilled workers for new ventures. One of the early successes of this investment program has been the construction of a new railway carriage plant built to answer the urgent needs of the country.
Summing it up, fuel and energy production, metal industry, as well as machine engineering, chemical, petrochemical industries carry the largest weight in the region's industrial composition. Among other industrial spheres, we can name consumer goods and food production. As for the agricultural industry, it accounts for around 9% of the regional GDP. Let's watch the presentation.
Orenburg region is a sunny land. The soil is fertile and the land is vast, perfect for cultivating grains and oil-bearing crops. Homegrown animal fodder is an integral part of the vibrant beef and dairy industry. Here, on the vast plains, is all you could possibly need for new agrarian projects targeted not only at the domestic, but also the global market. We understand and value our resources and are developing our farming industry, extending an invitation to worthy partners.
So, taking into consideration now, yes, geographical position of the Orenburg region, its industrial and agricultural development, we understand that one of the high priority goals of the region today is the spread of foreign economic ties with the countries of near and far abroad, and the attraction of foreign investment. Among the countries investing in the biggest companies of the Orenburg region, we can name, this is about agriculture, we can name the USA, Italy, Belgium, Kazakhstan, Canada, Germany, and Czech Republic. You see how many nationalities we have to communicate with, yeah? So let's come to cultural specifics of the Orenburg region. The Orenburg region is historically, as it was told, a multi-ethnic area with more than 100 ethnicities comfortably living side by side. So furthermore, the region is situated on the borders again, yeah, with Tatarstan, Kazakhstan, and Bashkortostan. Such an area undoubtedly gives additional vectors for development of business, trade, and market relationships. As it was mentioned before, there are a lot of investors from different countries in the region. Thus, the subtleties and maybe specifics of communication in the Orenburg region are connected with the presence of different cultures and nationalities, many of which retain their own views and principles. Such cross-cultural business direction implies knowing, understanding, and accepting your partner's cultural peculiarities, ethnic peculiarities that minimizes conflicts and disappointment and contributes to the achievement of successful interaction. For instance, let us regard today Kazakh culture and national character, which can be often met on the territory of the region. Well, the most important Kazakh cultural values are as follows. Hospitality. It's an honor to meet guests and share everything you have. Hospitality is expressed with warm welcomes, with giving guests the place of honor at the table, and being inhospitable in Kazakhstan is equal to being a criminal. So bear it in mind. Respect for elders. According to Kazakh culture, respect for elders is one of the most important human qualities and strong traditions. Kazakh cultures and traditions are passed down from generation to generation in tales and stories, In Muslim countries, there is also a religion holiday. I think you've heard of it. Many of you celebrated here Ramadan, which is aimed at testing human patience. Ramadan means abstinence from water, food, and all the pleasure. So we'll speak about it a bit in detail a bit later. So collectivism. All decisions are taken collectively. The pronoun we is important there, and even more important than pronoun I. So it's considered impolite to speak about one's personal advantages, so only about society's advantages. Patriotism. Love for motherland and for freedom is brought up in early childhood, yeah, so all Kazakh people are patriotic. And generosity. There is an expression, Kazakh hearts are like the steppes, white, kind, and generous. So they like giving presents and they like getting them. So these Kazakh culture values are different from the ones of European countries, and in some point they even contradict them. So there are no doubts that this fact influences interaction and business communication with Kazakh people. So thus the problem of effective business communication in the region is essential, and specifics of it are needed to be taken into consideration. So that's why we are going to look at some strategies and tactics of effective business interaction in the Orenburg region. So the characteristic feature of business interaction, as it was noted, is cross-cultural environment, yeah. And basing on cultural values described earlier about Kazakh people, we can single out the following peculiarities of business communication with a representative of Kazakhstan. So let's remember collectivism, yeah. So while negotiating, it is essential not to focus on a single personality, but to aim at opinion of a group of companies' representatives. If possible, group negotiations should be organized. It can be explained by Kazakh collectivistic spirit. Advertisement or production that is focused on individual success, individual development is not appreciated there. So we should remember that vanity and emphasizing one's own advantages are also regarded negatively. So the second don't, so to say. Not the second, it's still about this rule. Positive feature, yes, speaking about respect. So discipline and display of respect to the older generation, authorities and motherland, necessary requirements for building relationship with Kazakh people. We can also mention here hospitality, yeah, and benevolence. They are common for Kazakh qualities, both in social and business spheres. Consequently, the banquets demonstrating guest reverence are appreciated while fulfilling business interactions. So some kind of tradition, and there are also other traditions, and we come to them, yeah. So the negotiations shouldn't be held during Ramadan, the month of compulsory Muslim fasting. In case it's impossible, try to avoid negotiations in this period. It is necessary to remember about the traditional ban on smoking, eating, and drinking during this period. But the basis of success and business interaction with Kazakh representatives is their interpersonal relationships that should have been built since the beginning of negotiations. For instance, in the first meeting, it is common to give some present in the memory of your visit. Smiling. So, who knows? Is it common to us to smile while negotiating? Maybe it's a surprise, but smiling is one of the most controversial nonverbal means of communication and cross-cultural interaction. So bearers of Kazakh culture don't welcome smiling during business interaction. The higher subject social position is, the more he or she should appear. The more serious, he or she should appear. So, and the general address, general respectful address for Kazakh people, it is first name plus surname, or first name plus father's name, which came, so the last form came into usage due to the influence of the Russian language on the post-Soviet territories, of course. Yeah, it's logical. So cultural aspects of business interaction in every Asian country are undoubtedly unique and specific and demand careful studying. But however, the rules of business interaction with Kazakh representatives listed above can be relevant to some other countries of Asia too, thus forming the so-called Asian behavior model, which contradicts the European behavior model in many ways. For instance, the peculiarities of business interaction with Germany, one of the leading investors of the Orenburg region, are as follows. Let's try to take them comparatively. So, identity development, subjective position, personal success, one's own increased status, they are the most important values in modern Western business. The principal orientations of business interaction with partners of Western cultures are creativity and uniqueness in production and promotion. If you remember, for Kazakh culture, we can see different positions. Creativity and uniqueness are not welcome there. So the partner status and age do not, as a rule, have any decisive role in the course of business communication, because usefulness denotes the openness to new ideas and endeavors, while maturity is associated with subject's extensive experience. What's important, therefore, in preparation for business communication with German representatives? So, thorough preparation, logical and consistent speech based on facts will produce positive effect in the negotiating process with German partners. But jokes, anecdotes, usage of slang and conversational language are not acceptable in business communication with Germans. While implementing interaction, it is important to remember the hierarchy of German business. There's consulting and negotiating with deputies, for example, for time saving is not advisable. And then, based on strict and categorical ethic, the European behavior model allows the development of purely professional relationship. In German culture, so both gift-giving, hugging of any kind are not acceptable. Yes, again, this is the opposite position to Kazakh people. Smile. While Kazakh people don't smile while interaction, they tend to be serious. So in Western culture, smiling doesn't only denote benevolent attitude to the partner, but it also demonstrates his or her success, social well-being, calmness, stability, reliability. So that's why smile is a compulsory condition of successful business interaction in Europe. And the traditional international form of addressing is very well known for you. It's Mr. and Mrs. plus surname. So Western businessmen don't often even try to remember the names of their numerous business partners. So retaining the official character of communication and not allowing interpersonal relationship development. So let's sum it up. People with various historical and cultural traditions live in the Orenburg region. On the one hand, multi-ethnic population define the uniqueness of this area, the originality of cultural and historical values. On the other hand, one of the high priority goals of the region today, the spread of foreign economic ties with the countries of near and far abroad and the attraction of foreign investment. Effective business interaction in the cross-cultural environment of the Orenburg region implies knowing and accepting partners' cultural values and ideas, orientating toward them in the course of negotiation. The most advantageous communicative strategies aimed at long-term collaboration and partnership. They are cooperative. One, we didn't take them, yeah, but you can guess logically, yeah, cooperation means working together. So these strategies which were described, they can be named cooperative one. And let's sum up the cultural peculiarities, for example, of business interaction with the two biggest foreign partners of the Orenburg region. So in opposition, it's seen obviously, it can be seen obviously, yes. What is the difference? So Asian behavior model and European behavior model. Do not demonstrate your personality, demonstrate the uniqueness of your personality. Then show respect to the older generation authorities motherland. Do not pay attention to the age or status sorry, how it happened. Be benevolent and hospitable. Prepare your speech thoroughly, avoiding informality. Again, the Asian behavior model. Avoid negotiations during Ramadan. As for European, do not negotiate with chef partner. Develop interpersonal relationship. European model, do not allow informal interpersonal relationship. Try to be formal. Kazakh people do not smile during business negotiation. European people smile while negotiating. And probably addresses has a less number of differences, yeah, because still European model is prevailing, and for Russian people, so we can address to people both variants for Kazakh people with sir, madam, or with father, first name and father's name. So it's quite natural for us. That's why I don't think there will be any problems. So that's all I wanted to tell you. Thank you for your attention. If there are questions, you are welcome.